Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and today I'm just going to be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip. So if you do consider, drop your likes, and if you do consider, subscribers to the channel as always. So the first topic of the development I'm going to give you an update on is Tanguy Ndombele from Lyon as well. So reportedly, according to the Lyon president, reportedly he's confirmed that Manchester United are interested in him. He's also confirmed that Manchester City are also interested in him as well, but there's been quite a few other clubs interested in Tanguy Ndombele as well. But according to the Lyon president, he insists that he would rather, sell Tanguy Ndombele to Juventus, of course, considering that Pankitic, plays for Juventus as well. But Tanguy Ndombele, is a very, very good competitive midfielder. I think he is a defensive midfielder, so a lot of Manchester United fans, would see him as an ideal replacement for Nemanja Matic. But I think he can also play as a central midfielder as well, like box to box as well. Tanguy Ndombele is 22 years of age, so he is very, very young. I think he's just under 6 foot, so I think he's about 5'11", something like that. I think he's valued at around 60 or 70 million pounds. Is Tanguy Ndombele. I think Lyon got him permanently last summer for just over 7 million pounds as well, after initially having a season on loan with Lyon. But I think Lyon made the deal permanent last summer by paying around, was it just over 7 million pounds? He is under contract with Lyon until 2023 as well. So there has been a lot of talks going on about him as well. But I think it's going to be hard for us, to attract players, to that elite level. Of course, considering that we've got no Champions League football to offer for next season as well. So we may not end up, getting a Tanguy Ndombele as well. But I think he'd be a great addition in our midfield. If he was to come in, Tanguy Ndombele, he can score goals. He can also provide as well. So yeah, there's been a lot of talks about him, going on in the media. According to the Lyon president, he'd rather sanction him off to Juventus as well. But he's 22 years of age. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him. I think if he was to come to English football, he would produce and deliver, the same, the same level of performances, that he is doing now with Lyon, of course, as well. But there's obviously going to be bigger clubs than Manchester United, going in for him that can offer him Champions League football as well. So it's going to be extremely, difficult for us to get Tanguy Ndombele. So he's one player that Manchester United have been linked with. Number two is Sporting Lisbon's Bruno Fernandes. Now there has been a lot of talks, going on about Bruno Fernandes, circulating in the media. I think Manchester United reports from Portugal was saying that Manchester United have been in negotiations with his representatives over summer transfer. Recent reports have circulated saying that Manchester United have been interested in him. It also said that AC Milan have been interested in him, and it also said too Manchester City have also been interested in Bruno Fernandes as well. Bruno Fernandes, I think, has got around a 19 million release clause in his deal with Sporting Lisbon. He is 24 years of age, and I think he scored 28 goals in all competitions this season for Sporting Lisbon as well. As a former Sampdoria, he's also a former Udinese player as well, and I think he's predominantly an attacking midfielder. So Manchester United, could see him as a replacement for Paul Pogba. But Bruno Fernandes, I think, as I said, he's 24 years of age. I think he's about 5'10" or something like that as well. But he's tied it up very, very well in Portugal. So he's been a potential Manchester United target as well as Bruno Fernandes. So we're interested in bringing in quite a few targets in, because we do need now a couple of additions in that midfield. Because for me, Matic is not reliable enough. Well, let's be honest, the majority of this Manchester United squad is not reliable enough at the moment. To be quite honest with you, because the majority of these Manchester United players, do need a reality check. To be quite honest with you, but we do need a couple of additions in that midfield, because for me, Nemanja Matic isn't good enough for Manchester United. He's age 29. He's an experienced midfielder. He is well Premier League proven. Of course, is Matic, but you do know that I've got strong reservations about Nemanja Matic as well. He's totally ineffective in that midfield, slows that midfield down as well. So I think we need a replacement for Nemanja Matic, to be quite honest with you as well. And maybe, West Ham's Declan Rice, would be the ideal, replacement, for Nemanja Matic, to be quite honest with you. Manchester United have been interested in Declan Rice. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents, He's 20 years of age, is Declan Rice. His performances this season under Manuel Pellegrini have been very, very impressive indeed, Declan Rice's. And he's been in the West Ham first team, quite a few years now as well. I think he's valued around 40, or is it 50 million pounds, something like that. West Ham, I think, would want around 50 million pounds for him. He has got a long-term contract with them until 2024 as well. So it says that Manchester United have also been interested in Declan Rice as well. But yeah, we're interested in quite a few midfielders, as we all know as well. So the news I want to give you an update on as well is in relation to David De Gea as well. So now reports are coming out saying that that reportedly PSG are willing to reportedly offer him a contract worth around £450,000 a week. That's currently double than what that's currently more than double of what he's currently on now at Manchester United, because in his current deal at Manchester United now he's on £200,000 a week. Is David De Gea as well, and he has been making quite a lot of mistakes quite recently, and he's becoming a liability. Is David De Gea to be quite honest. And I don't know what's going on with him. Why he's been underperforming? Is it something to do with a contract issue? Doesn't he want to be at Manchester United anymore? Does he want to be up there playing to the highest level? And does he want to be up there challenging and winning trophies? Of course, as well. Manchester United have been in talks of trying to get David De Gea a new contract at the club. Reports came out a while back saying that he was demanding around £350,000 a week for Manchester United as well. But he's been a good servant here. He's still one of the best goalkeepers in the world. This is his 8th season now at Manchester United. He has made over 300 other appearances in all competitions as well. He's won the club's player of the year 4 times out of the last 5 seasons as well, as David De Gea. Also, Real Madrid, of course, have been long admirers of him, but we are getting quite a few Manchester United fans now saying for these 2 remaining games, De Gea should be dropped, and we should put Sergio Romero into contention, for these 2 remaining games. But the question is Sergio Romero reliable enough, to be our number 1 goalkeeper as well? To be quite fair, I emphasised his performances. I analysed his performances. When Romero was when he was playing in them FA Cup games, and his performances were very, very good indeed. But maybe we should drop the problematic players for the remaining 2 games and give the youngsters an opportunity as well. So potentially, De Gea is still under contract here, don't forget, until the summer of 2020, because obviously Manchester United last year activated a 12-month extension as well. So if we are forced to get rid of him, obviously we want to cash in for him this summer rather than letting go on a free the summer after David De Gea. And I think PSG are willing to offer him around £450,000 a week contract, and I think it's a deal worth around £90 million or something like that as well. But he's been a great servant to the club. I've admired his fantastic career, David De Gea's, but he's just been recently making quite a few mistakes, to be quite honest, and he's won everything here domestically. But I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got any intentions of dropping David De Gea, to be quite honest with you as well. So we have potentially emphasised a couple of targets, that could potentially, replace David De Gea. And, there was a lot of news circulating around the media yesterday and the day before in relation to the Atletico Madrid goalkeeper, Jan Oblak as well. I don't think he's in the same calibre or level as David De Gea, Jan Oblak, but he's still regarded as one of the best goalkeepers in the world, is Jan Oblak. Jan Oblak is at Atletico Madrid. I think this is now his 5th season with Atletico Madrid. He's heading into his 6th season now with Atletico Madrid. Jan Oblak has reportedly got a buyout clause around £100 million. Reports were coming out saying that Manchester United were willing to trigger that £100 million buyout clause in his deal with Atletico Madrid. He just recently signed a new contract with Atletico Madrid not too long ago, so he's on the contract with them until 2023. He is under contract with Atletico Madrid until 2023, and I think he also, when he got this new contract, he got a pay rise in his buyout clause as well. So I think his buyout clause is around 100 or 120 million or something like that. But he's a good shot stopper. He's good at saving from close range. He's good at saving from long range as well. And I think only this season it's Liverpool's Alisson that's has kept as many clean sheets as Jan Oblak as well. But Jan Oblak is 26. I think is he 6 foot or something like that? Jan Oblak as well. So he is tall. He's won 3 major honours, of Atletico Madrid, including the Europa League and the UEFA Super Cup as well. And I think he's made over 175 appearances for Atletico Madrid as well as Jan Oblak as well. So there has been a lot of talks about him, going on in the media. But do you think he'd be a great addition, if he came to Manchester United? But, if Manchester United are going for him this summer, want to use the money, we do raise from David De Gea, to get Jan Oblak as well. But as I did say, his buyout clause is around £100 million. So there's another goalkeeper that's been mentioned who could potentially replace De Gea as well in the past, and that's Everton's Jordan Pickford, of course. And there has been talk about Jordan Pickford, and Jordan Pickford had a good World Cup last summer, with England. He's done quite well, for Everton. I think he's been at Everton a couple of seasons now. He's got a long-term contract with Everton until 2024. I think Everton paid around, £25 million for him from Sunderland a couple of seasons ago as well. But he'd cost around £50, £60 million, something like that with Jordan Pickford as well. So potentially he's nowhere near the same level or calibre, as David De Gea. Neither is Jan Blanc, but I still really like Jan Blanc, to be quite honest with you as well. I do have reservations about, Jan Blanc when it comes to to him saving with his feet, because I think he's very, very poor in that aspect, to be quite honest with you as well. So there has been a lot of talk, about that going on as well. So maybe we should drop David De Gea, for these 2 remaining games as well. As you all do know, in relation to Pogba, as we all know, Pogba's leaving the club, as we all currently know. It's looking like he's going to Real Madrid this summer, because maybe Paul Pogba, wants to be up there playing to the highest level. Maybe wants to be up there, challenging for trophies, winning trophies, of course, as well. And Manchester United are obviously, not doing this at the moment, and this is why we've got to address the deficiencies in the summer and get the right players in the summer, which is going to be extremely difficult indeed. Maybe some people are saying, we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer, because there's quite a few players out there for a reasonable figure as well. Maybe we could get maybe 2 or 3 players for 100 million or just more than 100 million as well. But Paul Pogba, I think he's agreed the personal terms with Madrid. The wages have been agreed, and reports were coming out from Spain saying that Paul Pogba has agreed a 10 million a year deal with Real Madrid reportedly. But we do know that Zinedine Zidane is a big admirer of Paul Pogba. Obviously, Real Madrid have emphasised quite a few targets, they want to get in this summer. I think, they also want to get Eden Hazard in as well, the Real Madrid. But one of Zinedine Zidane's targets is Paul Pogba, of course. And Paul Pogba, did get one of his best wishes, of course, when Jose Mourinho got sacked from the club, because, Paul Pogba had a bad relationship with Jose Mourinho as well. I think Manchester United have been in negotiations, of trying to get Paul Pogba a new contract at the club. Paul Pogba's still got over 2 years left on his deal, with an option of 30 years as well. I think on his current deal at the moment, he's on about £300,000 a week. Is Paul Pogba as well. Reports came out about 3 weeks ago, saying that Manchester United were willing to offer him the captain's armband, to convince him, to stay at the club as well. But in the last couple of weeks, his agent Raiola, he's been in the process of finding him a new club. There's still reports circulating saying that his former club, Juventus, are interested in re-signing him, but he did say Juventus would have to offload maybe a couple of their players to fund the move for Paul Pogba, because I think Manchester United we're demanding that we want around 120 or 130 million pounds for Paul Pogba this summer. But his agent Raiola has also had talks with Juventus as well, his former club, where Paul Pogba did have 4 good years as well. But I think Real Madrid are going to end up getting Paul Pogba. But I think he's a world-class midfielder, is Paul Pogba, and he's playing in the right vein and manner. But I think at Manchester United, he's not playing around world-class midfielders as well, and he's heading now into his 4th season as a Manchester United player. Of course, from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's preference, he thinks basically, that Paul Pogba, will stay at Manchester United, and he's convinced that he will be at Manchester United next season as well, because Solskjaer has actually spoken to Paul Pogba. But Paul Pogba's made it clear he's notified his Manchester United teammates that he's intending on leaving the club this summer, because he was talking a lot about Real Madrid quite a few weeks back, and that just indicates, that he doesn't, want to spend the rest of his playing career in England with Manchester United. And he's 26 years of age, and he's still got a future ahead of him as Paul Pogba. He's only 26 years of age. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him as well. And I've analysed his performances, since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's come in, and reflecting back when Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, was the interim manager in his first 3 months at the club, everything was going right. He was getting the best out of these players. Solskjaer exceeded expectations in that 3-month period. Paul Pogba was one of our most influential players, as we all currently know. But since Solskjaer's got the job permanently, it's just seemed to have all gone wrong. We're in a bad vein of form. We've only won 2 of our last 10 games in all competitions. And since he's got the job permanently, Paul Pogba's performances, and the majority of this Manchester United team, their performances have been way below par, to be quite honest with you as well. But Solskjaer has built a great relationship up with Paul Pogba. When I did say to obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's manager Manchester United reserve team, and he watched some of this team at this day and age, some of it, grow and develop and all that. And of course, one of them was Paul Pogba as well. But it's looking likely, of course, he's going to Real Madrid. So potentially, we could get around 120, 130 million pounds from that money. We could get 2 players as well, for that money as well. But Manchester United, paid 89 million pounds from Juventus as well. So yeah, potentially, it's looking likely he's going to Real Madrid in the summer. But we do know it's going to be hard to find a replacement. It's going to be hard to find, a replacement for Paul Pogba. It's going to be hard to find someone of his level and his calibre and all that as well. But as I said earlier on the video, Bruno Fernandes, would be the replacement for Paul Pogba, of course, because he's predominantly an attacking midfielder. He's Bruno Fernandes, and he's 24 years of age. But I don't know if we're going to get Bruno Fernandes, because now it's saying City are going in for him. It says AC Milan have been interested in him as well. Reports came out a few weeks back saying that Bruno Fernandes he's interested in making a move to the Premier League as well. But yeah, so Romelu Lukaku. So reports came out the other week saying that if Manchester United can sell Pogba and Lukaku this summer, Manchester United, could cash in around £200 million. And I think us selling Pogba, even though he's a great midfielder, and he's also won the World Cup as well, us selling Paul Pogba, it will help us with our transition, to be quite honest with you. So if we can sell Pogba, we can sell Lukaku, we can reportedly, get around £200 million, because we paid 89 million for Pogba, we paid 75 million for Lukaku, plus 15 million in add-ons, which had risen it to 90 million pounds as well. So we did pay big money, for both them as well. But Lukaku has been heavily linked with a move to Juventus. It's also said that Inter Milan have been interested in him as well. But I think Lukaku is intending on making the move to the Serie A, because he did admit his dream would be playing in the Serie A as well, Romelu Lukaku's. But obviously if Lukaku leaves, obviously, we're going to need a replacement for him as well, because obviously, the likes of Rashford and that are not reliable enough, for the season, to get us, where we want to be as well. We potentially, we need someone to replace Lukaku if Lukaku leaves. Lukaku's got a good pedigree in the Premier League. His goal scoring form is very, very good indeed. But he's enjoyed a very, very difficult second season with Manchester United, because mainly Rashford has been first choice ahead of him. Lukaku, I've got reservations about him. His first touch concerns me. He doesn't get enough then runs in behind. His finishing is very, very poor as well. Romelu Lukaku's, but he's still got a really, really good pedigree in the Premier League. Don't get me wrong. But I think his preferred destination, if he is to leave this summer, is Juventus. But Manchester United, of course, will be looking to recoup the initial 75 million we paid for him, maybe try and get a profit as well. But I think he's still got 3 years left in his contract at United. He's on about £250,000 a week as well as Romelu Lukaku. And recent reports have said that his agent has revealed that his future is very, very open indeed. So I think if he was to go to maybe Juventus or Inter Milan, I think he'd be a great addition in their team. But I just don't think he's like good enough to play to the highest level. Romelu Lukaku. I think Lukaku is keen on going to Juventus, to play alongside Cristiano Ronaldo and all that. So we'll see what happens, when it comes to it as well. So I think he could be going in the summer, could Romelu Lukaku, but reportedly Manchester United, could cash in around £200 million for Pogba and Lukaku as well. I want to update you and report about Juan Mata as well, because I think it's likely he's going to be leaving, when his contract expires this summer as well. And Juan Mata is no longer playing to the highest level. He's just turned 31 years of age. He has lost that yard of pace and, potentially, can't even get into the team at the moment. I know he played against Chelsea, but overall he can't even really get into the team, Juan Mata. There has been talks that Barcelona are interested in signing Juan Mata on a free transfer this summer. Juan Mata is on about £170,000 a week at Manchester United, but now reports are indicating now saying that Juan Mata would have to take a pay cut, to join Barcelona as well. That's what reports have just currently said. Because Juan Mata, had a lot of experience, in Spain, when he was a youngster. He began his career with Madrid. He had 4 years with Valencia, where he played under Unai Emery as well. But since he's come to the Premier League, he's been absolutely fantastic. This is his 5th season now at Manchester United. He's made over 200 appearances in all competitions. I think we got it for just under £40 million from Chelsea. He did also serve 3 years at Chelsea as well. Was it 2.5, 3 years with Chelsea as well? So he's been in the Premier League a lot of years as Juan Mata as well. And I think he's been a great servant to Manchester United. But I think from his own preference, if he is to leave this summer, I think he does want to make a return back to Spain, or does Mata as well. So Barcelona have been in talks on getting him on a free transfer as well. But a lot of players, are going to leave Manchester United this summer. We are expected to orchestrate a big summer clear out. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, wants to get rid of at least, I think we're willing to get rid of at least 6 players this summer as well. Potentially, Rashford for me. Rashford, I don't know what's going on with Rashford at the moment, because he's been underperforming, Marcus Rashford, and, he's just suffered another injury. He's suffered a shoulder injury, I think it is. So now I don't think he'll be playing against Huddersfield. Well, he did say he could miss the Huddersfield game, Marcus Rashford. So a lot of United fans are recommending, Mason Greenwood, to get the opportunity as well, because Mason Greenwood has been very, very impressive for the reserves. Rashford has sustained, quite a few injuries. He's just sustained now a shoulder injury. He had to come off against Chelsea. Before that, he sustained a couple of ankle injuries as well. So I think it's taken its toll on him, and it's had a bad effect on Marcus Rashford's game. Rashford, I don't think he's graduated to that elite level yet. Manchester United, I think, have been in advanced talks of getting him a new 5-year deal at the club as well. Marcus Rashford. Reports were saying that he was demanding around 200 or was it £300,000 a week, if he was to sign a new 5-year deal at the club. Rashford's still under contract here till the summer 2020 with an option of a year as well. But Marcus Rashford definitely needs a reality check, to be quite honest with you. But I think it's going to take him at least a couple of years to graduate to that level, Marcus Rashford. But he's only 21. He's still got a lot of years ahead of him. He has got immense talent as well. Because we know when Rashford's playing to his potential best, we know what he's capable of. He likes to get them runs in behind. He's like lightning. He plays with a high level of intensity. His pace is unbelievable we've seen a shadow of himself in the last 2 months at least now, Marcus Rashford. And he has been attracting interest from the likes of Barcelona and Real Madrid, saying that they're willing to put around £100 million in for Rashford as well. So he definitely needs a reality check. And Jesse Lingard, when he's been playing, I've been very disappointed with Jesse Lingard, and he's highly experienced. Lingard is 27. Don't get me wrong, I think he's still a long-term solution. I think Rashford's a long-term solution. I think Martial's a long-term solution, even though that trio have been underperforming, of course, as well. But Jesse Lingard, I've been disappointed with his performances. Martial, he was in good form earlier on in the season, in at least in the last couple of months. Martial has failed to replicate that form, to be quite honest with you. Martial's been here since 2015, so now he's in his 4th season as a Manchester United player, of course. He's Anthony Martial. He's only 23, still very, very young. He's got immense talent as Anthony Martial as well. So his performances have been very, very poor indeed. But they definitely, are still the long-term solution for Manchester United. Potentially, as I did currently say, the player I have been impressive most recently, and that's Fred. And I know he didn't play against Chelsea, but prior to the Chelsea game, he had like 2 or 3 good games, did Fred, and he has stepped up to the plate, to be quite honest with you. And I have been known for criticising Fred, don't get me wrong, I have been known for criticising him. I think he's the right solution at the moment. I don't know if Fred is a long-term solution, but I think he's probably more mobile on the ball and better on the ball than Nemanja Matic. I think he's a better option, than Nemanja Matic at the moment is Fred. Manchester United paid, £47 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk last summer as well. But yeah, I think he's the right solution at the moment. I'm not too sure if he's a long-term solution. I'm not too sure if he's got the capabilities as Fred, to be quite honest with you. And this is why I said we need quite a few midfielders. You've got McTominay, where I think his performances have been very, very good, when he's been playing as well. He's been playing between the lines very, very well. Scott McTominay as well. But I don't know if the likes of McTominay and Fred, have got the capabilities, to be quite honest with you as well. Because McTominay is still only young, he's only, 22 years of age as well as McTominay. So when he was playing, I was very, very impressed there with his performances as well. So as Dick currently say, the players I want to leave the club this summer. As I said, we do know one player is definitely guaranteed to leave. That's Antonio Valencia. Obviously, Antonio Valencia can't even get in the team at the moment. I think he's lost his place in the team. Plus, I think he's still out with a calf injury. Is Antonio Valencia as well. He has been a good servant to the club. This is his 10th season out at Manchester United. He has made over 300 other appearances in all competitions as well. But we do know Manchester United opted against the decision, to give him that new 1-year extension, and he's going to be leaving when his contract expires this summer as well. So we're going to need someone to replace Antonio Valencia at that right back position as well. And Ashley Young, I think he should go in the summer as well. I think it was bad business from the club, giving him that new 1-year extension as well. Young's been a good servant to the club. He's been here 8 years now as Ashley Young. He's made over 300 appearances in all competitions, of course. And some of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics are questionable. Don't get me wrong. Some of them are questionable. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics, because he isn't dropping Young and that. And I think Diego Dalot should be ahead of Young, to be quite honest, because Diego Dalot is still in the process of developing. I think he's 19, 20 years of age is Diego Dalot. But don't get me wrong, I've been when he's played, I've been impressed with his performances. Diego Dalot. Sometimes he's played at right back. Sometimes he's played in more like an attacking role as Diego Dalot as well. But he's still in the process of developing. But I think Diego Dalot should be played ahead of Ashley Young, and Ashley Young definitely needs to be dropped for these 2 remaining games. But he was a good winner back in the day, was Ashley Young, to be quite honest with you. But he's past his sell-by date now. He's 33 years of age, nearly 34. By the time his new 1-year extension expires, I think he'll be nearly 35 years of age as well. Well, Ashley Young. So potentially, I think he needs to go as well. So for me, at that right back position, we do need someone that can, cover up, Diego Dalot. And there's been a few names mentioned. There's been Crystal Palace's Wan-Bissaka mentioned, and I think he's valued at around £35-40 million. Is Wan-Bissaka. He's one of England's youngest upcoming talents. I think he's only 21 years of age. He's Wan-Bissaka, so he's still got a lot of years ahead of him, and I think he's got the ability to elevate Manchester United at least in the next 2 to 3 years as well. because he's only very, very young. I think he only broke into the Crystal Palace first team back in February last year as well, did Wan-Bissaka. But Manchester United have reportedly, been interested in him. I think quite a lot of Manchester United fans would like to see Wan-Bissaka, get recommended to come in. There was talks the other day in the media about PSG's Thomas Meunier as well, 27 years of age. I think he's tall as well as Thomas Meunier. I think it did say PSG were demanding that they wanted around £26 million for Thomas Meunier this summer. It did say Arsenal were interested, Chelsea were interested as well. I think he's got about 13 or 14 months left on his contract with PSG. But he's predominantly a right back, but I think he can play in other positions as well. So he's versatile. He's Thomas Meunier. His defensive abilities are good. He can score goals. He can also provide, but he's highly experienced because he's 27 years of age. He's Thomas Meunier as well. So he's available for the reasonable figure as well. It did say Manchester United were considering making a move for him this summer. So he's been mentioned in the media. There's also been talks of Tottenham's Kieran Trippier as well. That has also been mentioned in the media. But potentially we do basically know that we need a central defender, someone that can partner alongside Victor Lindelof as well. We need someone that can partner alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line. And I definitely think Eric Bailly's future is in serious doubt. To be quite honest, Eric Bailly now. I think Eric Bailly now, he suffered another injury, in the Chelsea game, suffered another injury. Initially, he just recently, recovered from a concussion as well. I do like Eric Bailly, he's got great potential, but he's found game time very, very difficult this season because Solskjaer especially, has preferred the likes of Smalling and Jones ahead of Eric Bailly. And for me, Eric Bailly, is too injury prone, to be quite honest, so maybe we should, get rid of him in the summer. This is his third season now at Manchester United, of course. Manchester United paid around £30 million from Villarreal as well, Eric Bailly. So I think he's likely to be on his way out this summer as well, especially if a new centre-back is to come in, because potentially we haven't had a world-class centre-back, since we had the likes of Ferdinand and Vidic, of course, as well, and, the likes of Smalling and Jones are no longer, good enough, to represent Manchester United as well. Smalling, this is Smalling's 9th season at the club, this is Jones' 8th season at Manchester United. Again, it was bad business from the club, giving Smalling a new long-term contract, giving Jones a new long-term contract as well, so I want them to leave in the summer. Potentially Marcus Rojo, I think he's done as a Manchester United player as well, because he's enjoyed a difficult time here as Marcus Rojo. He's good there as a backup option because he's versatile, but for me, Marcus Rojo, he's sustained quite a few injuries as a Manchester United player, and I think it's affected his Manchester United career. He's just recovered from long-term absence as well, so I think it's likely he's on his way out as well as Marcus Rojo. But there's been quite a few central defenders, Manchester United have been interested in as well. But I say forget Koulibaly now. Koulibaly's not going to be coming to Manchester United, I don't think, because obviously we've got no Champions League football to offer for next season, of course. And obviously, players of Koulibaly's calibre, obviously, wants to be in Champions League football. But for me, I think he feels happy, at Napoli, to be quite honest with you. We do know there's been a lot of rumours, the rumours do continue to persist, with Manchester United linked with him. I think Koulibaly's, there's been a few other teams interested in him as well. But I think he'll probably end up staying at Napoli, to be quite honest. I think he's happy there. His performances have been very, very good there. He's been there the number of years now. I think this is his 5th season now at Napoli. His Koulibaly's. He has made over 200 appearances in all competitions for Napoli as well. And I think he's nearly now 28 years of age. Koulibaly as well. Recently signed a new contract, with Napoli until 2023 as well. Man United were in talks in January. Had 3 bids turned down, we're linked to him last summer as well. But I don't see, Manchester United, getting him now, even if we are willing to pay a world record fee for him, to be quite honest, because Champions League football is very, very essential if you want to attract players to the elite level as well. But as we all do currently know, there's a much cheaper alternative than Koulibaly and the Rafael Varane's and all that. There's Toby Alderweireld, and Toby Alderweireld is nowhere near the same level as Koulibaly or the Rafael Varane's and all that, the top class central defenders. But, Toby Alderweireld is available for £25 million this summer, and that's what we've got to take into consideration. He's available for £25 million this summer. I don't think he wants to be at Tottenham anymore. Obviously, he's refused to sign a new contract with Tottenham as Alderweireld. Alderweireld has just recently turned 30 years of age, and don't get me wrong, I have got strong reservations about him now. He has lost that yard of pace as Alderweireld as well, but I still think he'd be a good upgrade in our defensive line, of already what we've currently got at the moment. I still think he'd be a good upgrade. He's well Premier League proven as well. He's well Premier League proven. I think he's been at Tottenham a number of years now as Alderweireld. I think last summer, Manchester United, were linked with Toby Alderweireld as well. So I think he'd be a great addition in our backline. He's available for 25 million. Tottenham activated a 12-month extension in January, included his 25 million release clause, based on his refusal to sign a new contract as well. So yeah, maybe we should go in for Alderweireld this summer, because I don't see he's getting Koulibaly now, to be quite honest with you. Probably won't get Rafael Varane either, because players like that, want to be playing to the highest level as well. Manchester United's number one priority target is obviously, Jadon Sancho. Of course, he is a right winner, as you all know, is Jadon Sancho. But in relation to Jadon Sancho, it's going to be extremely difficult for us to get him this summer, even if we are willing to offer up to £100 million, for Jadon Sancho. It's going to be difficult for us to get him this summer, of course, considering that we're not going to be in Champions League football. Jadon Sancho's done very, very well for Borussia Dortmund, and I think he'd produce and deliver, the same element of performances, that he's doing now in Germany with Borussia Dortmund, and I think he'd do it very, very well in English football. Don't forget, he's had experience of playing in English football, with Manchester City, where he did serve a couple of years as well. I think recent reports came out saying that he was interested in making a return to Manchester, with Jadon Sancho. He's got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022. Borussia Dortmund have been known for doing business with their players as well. They sold Aubameyang for around, was it 58 million? Pulisic, I think he's still going to Chelsea in the new season. I think they sold him for around £47 million. And they sold Tanguy Ndombele for around 106 million to Barcelona as well. So they have been doing business with their players. We do know Jadon Sancho isn't going to come cheap, but I don't really see he's getting him now, to be quite honest with you. But we need someone on that right side that can play between the byline, put crosses into the box. And I think he'd link up very, very well in our front line, with Rashford and Anthony Martial as well. So I don't really see he's getting Jadon Sancho now, to be quite honest with you. But he has been the club's number one priority target. But as I did quickly say, yes, so other players that are going to leave, I expect Sanchez, to leave Manchester United in the summer as well, because he's been very inconsistent as a Manchester United player, as Alexis Sanchez, and, considering substantial wages he's on, it's going to be hard to find a buy for him, and, there may be only a couple of teams out there that can afford to pay his wages off. I think he's on about £400,000 a week, is Alexis Sanchez as well, but he's been inconsistent as a Manchester United player, and it's totally affecting our wage structure, of what he's currently on, because we've got quite a few more players now, demanding more money as well. Sanchez has been here about 15-16 months, as I said, 15-16 months, and he's been very, very inconsistent indeed. He's sustained quite a few injuries as well. Just recently, recovered from an knee injury as Sanchez as well, so we do need to get rid of him in the summer. I also think Darmian's on his way out as well, Matteo Darmian. He's been a very, well, let's be honest to Matteo Darmian, I'll give him all the credit. He hasn't really had the opportunity, to be quite honest with you. Just recently, recovered from a long-term injury as well, Matteo Darmian. I think Inter Milan are linked with him. I think he would make a return back to Italy, if Man United are willing to get rid of him this summer. I think Manchester United can cash in for him this summer, because I think we did trigger that extension, so we can cash in for Matteo Darmian this summer. But he's endured a very, very difficult time as a Manchester United player as well. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of players going. As I did give you also an update yesterday in regards to the director of football and all that. We do know Manchester United are still looking to hire a director of football to come in, to change the club structure. And of course, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to need backing this summer. So the reports coming out yesterday, there were a lot of talks about Rio Ferdinand, returning to the club as a sporting director as well, because it did say Rio Ferdinand has been in negotiations with Ed Woodward over him, becoming the new sporting director at Manchester United as well. And maybe we do need someone to come in, who understands the club and all that. Maybe some Manchester United fans wouldn't like to see, Rio Ferdinand, come in. He was a great central defender, when he was a player, great player, won 14 trophies at United, served 12 years as a Manchester United player, and I think he made about 455 appearances in all competitions as well. So there has been news going on about that. But there's been quite a few candidate names mentioned, who could fulfil that director's role at Manchester United. We do know there's been talks of Mike Phelan. He did say the other day in the press he was in line, to become the technical director. There's also been talks of Edwin van der Sar as well, who's currently the CEO at Ajax at the moment as well. Obviously as well the former Manchester United goalkeeper as well. There also were talks a while back about Paul Mitchell as well, who is the head of recruitment at RP Leipzig, of course. I think he's been there a couple of seasons now. He used to work alongside Mauricio Pochettino when obviously Paul Mitchell was head of recruitment at Tottenham and Southampton as well. So yeah, there's been quite a few candidate names mentioned. Paul Scholes has been mentioned. Man United are willing to offer offer him a role reportedly at the club as well. So he could return to Manchester United as well. Could Paul Scholes recently was the Oldham manager. I think he only had a month at Oldham, did Paul Scholes, so he had a really, really short tenure. I think he did resign, did Paul Scholes. I think it was something to do with a disagreement or something like that as well. So yeah, there's been quite a few candidate names mentioned, but we've got to get a director of football to come in. Obviously Solskjaer's going to get a spending spree of around £250 million to spend this summer, but none of this squad is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's, as I do keep saying, none of this squad's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's, of course. He's inheriting 11 of Jose Mourinho's players, still some players here from Van Gaal, there's still Matt Reed from the David Moyes era, and there's still 4 or 5 players here from the Alex Ferguson era as well. I do know a lot of money's being spent at the club, since Ferguson retired. About £600-700 million has been invested, since Ferguson's left. We've had different managers, different type of philosophies as well, but none of this squad is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's, as I do keep saying. With at least 3 or 4 years off from being at What? Am I here? Alright. We're at least 3 or 4 years off from being at competitive elite level football club, as we was under Alex Ferguson as well. So as I did say, we've got to get the right players this summer. It's good that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, of course, is emphasising his targets, and he wants to bring at least 5 new additions to the club this summer. He's identified the positions where he thinks Manchester United need to strengthen up. You can see the deficiencies in the squad, but we've got to be ruthless in this summer transfer window. And Solskjaer, wants to buy into our history as well. So yeah, I just wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on in the media, in regards to some transfer rumours and that's what's going on. So what I said at the beginning of the video was in relation to Tanguy Ndombele. As I did say, I think he's just under 6 foot. He's 22 years of age. The Lyon president has come out and confirmed our interest in him. He's also confirmed that City have interest in him as well. But from his own preference, the Lyon president's preference, he'd rather sanction him off to Juventus because, Juventus have got Pankic and all that. But yeah, I think Lyon only got him permanent in the last summer for around 7.2 million. He's 22. I think he's a defensive mid, as I said. I think he plays central mid as well, box to box. So if we had any chance of getting him this summer, he'd probably be more of a replacement for Herrera than Nemanja Matic, of course, as well. But he's 22, still got a lot of years ahead of him, but I think it's going to be hard for us to attract a player, to that elite level, of course, because obviously we've got no Champions League football to offer for next season as well. So there's been a lot of talks about him. Yeah. So there has been a lot of talks about Tanguy Ndombele going on as well. So yeah, I wanted to also give you, as I said earlier on in the video about David De Gea, so now, as I did say, I'll give you another update again before I go. PSG are willing to offer him a £450,000 a week contract, reportedly, in a deal, I think, worth around £98 million, something like that. As I said, reports came out yesterday in relation to Jean Blanc, saying that Manchester United have identified him as a replacement for David De Gea as well. So that's all the news to update you on today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribing, as always, and take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.